Welcome to In the Huddle, this week's edition. I'm Coach Jason Pahman. And join me is Coach Sam Adams with the Oxford Yellow Jackets. The Yellow Jackets bouncing back after two losses prior to last Friday's game. And the Yellow Jackets go on the road and beat Pell City 38-13 to improve to 4-3 on the season. And an important region win that improves him to 3-1 in region play and Region 6. Coach, with the win Friday night, that clinched the playoffs for the Yellow Jackets, and we'll talk about what's lying ahead as far as the playoff picture a little bit later in the show. But Coach, Friday night, bouncing back after a tough home loss at Lamar Field to Hartsel, the guys really responded, and they responded early, both sides of the ball and special teams, and talk about the start and the week of preparation for coming off of a tough loss from Hartsel and homecoming week and all that, and you bounce back against Pell City. Talk about the week there.
Yeah, we knew going into a game like this, getting off to a fast start was going to be really important. From a mentality standpoint, when you're playing a team that's had a really rough season thus far, you don't want to give them any glimmers of hope early in the game and let them kind of hang around.
Right.
And, we did really well on both sides of the ball of getting off to that kind of start that we needed. It was, I think we scored on all 5 drives in the first half, and they didn't have any points at halftime. So that allowed us to get some other guys in the game in the second half and let them get some experience on a Friday night, which always makes your next week of practice better. As more people feel like they are involved in the game.
Definitely. And you saw on Saturday in college football the with momentum and how that momentum can change during the course of the game and really affect the game. And you talk about teams that are struggling. We saw some teams Saturday that were struggling, have been struggling against top-ranked teams, and they're in the game for most of the game because of things that happened early. And that's something that the Yellow Jackets have improved on since the first game against McAdory, getting better starts. And I know that's been a focus point of emphasis. The key in that start on quick starts and good fast starts is, of course, efficiency on offense. And we had that Friday night with Mason Mims at quarterback. Really has grown. You've seen the progress from the first game to now, the leadership he's starting to provide, and the growth he's starting to provide, and really had a good first half on Friday.
Yeah, he had, I think, 2 incompletions in the game the other day. One of those was a screen that got knocked down. The other one was a ball that we caught but had a foot on the line out of bounds. So, on all the – threw catchable balls repeatedly, made great decisions, got the ball into the space that it needed to get into, and our receivers did their job on the other end, did a good job catching the ball. And we ran the ball really efficiently the other night as well. That was one of our higher rushing output nights. I mean, we ended up with right around 200 rushing on the night to go with just a little bit under that passing. So it was just a really efficient night all the way around.
Receivers, you mentioned receivers. Judd Sire and Nick Richardson, both of them had a really good game and have been solid throughout the course of this season. Probably 2 of the better receivers in this entire region that's playing. And Nick just a sophomore, and Judd a junior. Still young, but man, are they effective. Got great hands. They run. The thing about them is their ability to get open and run good routes. And the preciseness there and quickness and able to get there in open space like you're talking about. And Mims being a tall guy, and he sees the field real well, able to find them in those spaces and complete some passes. Nick caught 2 touchdown passes, and Judd with the big catch at the end of the first half. Talk about those 2 guys and that play at the end of the first half.
Yeah, I think Nick ended up with 5 catches for 90-something yards. Had 1 long one called back. We lined up incorrectly at a different spot. Cost him probably 25, 30 yards on that one. And then Judd, last play of the half, we were throwing kind of a Hail Mary type thing, and he did a good job of being where he was supposed to be and catching the ball off of the tip, which is really what we're playing for in that kind of situation.
Right.
It'd be nice just go up and catch it in the air above everybody, but we really kind of play for the tip, and he was in the right spot at the right time, just like he was supposed to be.
You see that happen a good bit, and as a defensive coach and defensive backs coach, it's hard to tell those guys and get it through their heads that, hey, just bat the ball down. Bat the ball down. Don't give them a chance, but they won't intercept the ball.
Sure.
And that's their primary focus. And so that right there, I'm sure the defensive coach for Pell City would like to have that play again, as well as those guys. Going in the half, late score in the first half by Pell City, but feeling real good about yourselves there at halftime. Let's take a quick break, Coach, and when we come back, we'll talk about halftime and then what the focus was going to be in the second half with the big lead. We'll take a quick break and be right back here on In the Huddle. Back here in the Huddle with Coach Sam Adams and Oxford Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets winning 38-13 for last Friday night at Pell City. And Coach, at the half, feeling really good about the start and the way they performed in the first half. What was the message going in the second half? You knew you had the lead and knew that for this team to grow and get better and playing some tough teams at the end of the year, that you needed to get some more players in the game and get some experience there. Talk about what the focus was at halftime with the coaching staff and with the team.
Yeah, when we talked to the starters coming out of halftime, we really just wanted to maintain our focus for another few drives, hopefully have some success in there, and then be able to play some younger guys with a 35-0 halftime lead.
Right.
So and coming out of the second half, I mean, we kind of continue to do what we were doing on defense, and didn't really give them much room to breathe there at all. And offensively, Ray Barrera kicked a field goal on our first drive to extend the lead to 38. Then we did have a punt on the second drive, and really did kind of lose focus a little bit in there on some things, just some little detail-oriented things, and had a holding penalty or two in there too. So it kind of backed us up and kept us from scoring, like we would have liked to. But then we got some backup guys in there starting middle of the third quarter or so on, and kind of let them finish the game out.
You mentioned Ray Barrera, and we talked about a little bit coming in the show about how effective he's been on extra points, and you saw games already this season where an extra point can be the difference in the ball game, and he's been really effective as far as that goes. He got a field goal another field goal under his belt Friday night, and so going into tougher games where the score is probably going to be closer, how important is it to have a guy that you don't bat an eye and you don't worry about sending him out to kick a field goal when he gets in his range or an extra point or something like that? Yeah,
he's been really, really consistent for us, and that's a good feeling. Once we get past a certain yard line, we feel like we've basically we have points on the board. And it kind of allows you to be a little bit more, aggressive, getting the ball, trying to get the ball to the end zone.
Defensively, improvement from last week. Talk about the defense and the job that they did Friday night.
We didn't allow much room at all on that side, run or pass. They didn't really threaten the main guys, the starters, down the field at all. We did a good job against the run, and when they did throw it, we were in pretty solid coverage for the whole night. They did score a couple later on in the game, but by that point we're comfortably enough ahead where that wasn't that big of a deal.
Offensive line, definitely, when you look at the numbers as far as passing, and then running the ball, one of the better nights running the ball, over 200 yards, and then the effectiveness of Mims at quarterback. Offensive line definitely did their job Friday night.
Yeah, definitely. And we do have three seniors. We don't have a lot of seniors out there overall. We have three seniors on the offensive line. And Jackson Bunn and Curtis Sanders and Jaden Rawls. And those guys played really well, in addition to Rashad Cunningham at the tackle spot and Kevin Wheat at the other guard spot. And those guys, they played well, and they're hopefully starting to kind of come along and just build that cohesiveness that you have to have as an offensive line.
Yes, 3-1 in the region now. We moved to an open week, which is, in my eyes, looking at some of the other teams in the area and their open weeks, I think right now is a perfect time to have an open week. Not only do you get a much-needed break, much-needed rest, but get a chance to rest some guys a little bit and get some guys hopefully back from some little injuries. And I always say at this point in the season, if you're not nicked up, banged up, you're not playing the right way. So I know how important that is for you as a coach to get your guys some rest this week and in anticipation for a big matchup the following week against Clay Chalkville here at Lamar Field.
Yeah, that will actually be on the road at Clay Chalk.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
But yeah, this week we'll practice 3 times, shorten up those practices a little bit.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the week, the guys will have 4 days off, which they don't get 4 days off at any other point in the season. So
that's right.
Good from a physical standpoint. Hopefully heal up some things. And from an emotional standpoint too, that's what a lot of people don't really understand, how hard it is mentally and emotionally to get up every Friday night for big game after big game after big game. So it'll allow us to get a little bit of rest there. And with 2 big region games to go ahead of us. Next week, Clay Chalkville, #1 team in the state. And they're #1 for a reason. They deserve to be there. They've played that way on both sides of the ball. They have good players all over the field. And then we will go to Center Point the week after that, which will be another important region matchup. They've also locked in one of the 4 playoff spots. And at this point, us 3 being Clay, Oxford, Center Point, and Pinson being the other one, we're all kind of duking it out. The 1 through 4 is all still up for grabs for every team. And it's just how it'll just be how it shakes out over the next 2 weeks, or possibly the 3rd week. The non-region tiebreakers could come into play there as well. So that Week 10 game against Jacksonville will be very important for us.
Get a week to prepare for Clay Chalkville, and defensively the improvements that's been made throughout the course of the year definitely going to need to come in play, and I'm sure you'll have a good defensive game plan as well as offense, being effective, efficient, controlling the ball, controlling the clock. I'm sure those are keys that you guys will work on this week. Good luck next week against Clay Chalkville. Hopefully we'll have you back at some point next week. I know we're off next Monday, but good luck in preparation this week, and congratulations on the win and getting in the playoffs.
Thank you.
All right, that's Coach Sam Adams with the Oxford Yellow Jackets. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have Coach Todd Ginn from the Alexandria Valley Cubs here on In the Huddle. Welcome back to In the Huddle. I'm Coach Jason Pahman, and now joining me via Zoom on the interview is Coach Jeremy Satcher of the Donoho Falcons. And Coach, welcome to In the Huddle, and we had you on in our first show of the season, and since then a lot has happened with the Donoho Falcons, and played some tough games, and improved to 3-3 on the season, 2-2 in region play, and a big win over Winterboro Bulldogs at their place on Thursday night. Important region win. Let's talk about, Coach, leading up to the game last Thursday night. A lot happened early on in the week with the changing of the day and everything. So talk about your week of preparation, what the message was going into the game to the Falcons, and how important that game was last Friday night.
Yeah, going into the game, it's really just, we was preaching our goals, which our goals was playoffs. And we knew this was a very important game that we had to win to put us in a great chance to get into the playoffs. So, the boys were ready. They were good. We started off our preparation on Sunday, since it was a short week, and we played on Thursday. And we just got to it. We got to it, and the boys responded, and I'm proud of them. And I'm excited for what's next for them. So, big things are happening, and, I just can't wait for them to achieve what they set for themselves this past summer.
Yeah, put yourself in a position last Friday night to have a chance to be in the playoffs with the game coming up this Friday night. Let's talk about the game against Winterboro and kind of a back and forth game there, and offensively we're able to get a good production out of Will Folsom, quarterback, and then constantly on offense mixing things up. Running Lucas Elliott at the Wildcat and having him throw some, and you're getting good production still out of Logan Melton, the receiver, and running backs there doing a good job. Talk offensively about the game against Winterboro and the play of the offensive line too. You've had some injuries in there and had to shuffle some people in and out, and some people's had to step up along the way this year. Talk about the offensive group.
Well, the offense, they've been improving every week, and you're right. We had to start. We started in a 7th grader.
Wow.
Luke Farrell, which he's stepped up. He's done very well. And we had some more other people that's had to step up, like Ethan Bailey, who's a 9th grader. However, offense is still going. They're improving. You're right. Will had a big night. Logan had a big night. And the thing for us versus Winterboro was we knew they had size, and so we knew we couldn't just run over them. So we had to mix up the play calling. We had to be efficient with the play calling and the passing. And I thought our receivers were, had a good matchup. And so we took advantage of that. We ran, a lot of things with the running back out the backfield just to mix it up some and put us in a great position to win the ball game. But offensively, we still left some points on the board due to, lack of execution. And so that's the main thing for this week is executing and then making sure that we are consistent,
Yes.
Offensively throughout the whole ball game.
Defensively, Friday night, they're again on the defensive side of the ball, much like the offense, and you've got guys that's got to play both ways most of the time. So injuries have been a factor this season, but defensively, Friday night you had the big stand, and the goal line stand there at the end, which was, that was one of the biggest plays I've seen all season there. But to secure the win, because anything can happen there. They get in the end zone and convert that 2-point conversion, and we got a different ball game there, so different outcome. But defensively, talk about this unit, how they've progressed. You've had to play some young guys back there as well, and how is it watching those guys grow and then get rewarded in that way, and it just shows them, hey, you guys are listening, you guys are applying, and look what happened. You got the reward in the end, making the play to win us.
Right. And it goes the same thing, just like an offense. Just got to be consistent. Mm-hmm. You can't start off tackling low and through somebody, and then in the fourth quarter trying to pull them down. That doesn't work. And our defense, we did really well in the first 3 quarters. However, in that fourth quarter, we just wasn't consistent enough. And I took some of the blame too. I put our defense in a bad position on that fourth down, and I told the kids that, and I apologized to them. But they came back to me and was like, "Coach, it don't even matter. We won." So
right.
But no, just being consistent. They stepped up. They listening. They were flying to the ball better than what we have been in the past couple of games. So it's just defense is all about getting 11 guys to the ball, tackling low, and just playing with heart. And on that last goal line stand, man, I told the guys in the huddle, I said, do you want the playoffs? It's either you want the playoffs now, or do you want it? The playoffs are on the line now. This is where you're going to earn a spot. And they responded and won the game. And so they were happy. I'm happy for them and just excited.
Yes, sir. We're going to take a quick break, Coach, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the celebration after the game, and what's coming up next for the Donoho Falcons here on In the Huddle. Back here on In the Huddle with Coach Jason Pahman, and now back joining us, Coach Jeremy Satcher of the Donoho Falcons. And Coach, you know, I saw the video clip of the goal line stand, and then the excitement, the jubilation of the players and the coaches after that. You know, going on the road and then a region win and playing on Thursday night just made it even more special. And even more special for the guys because you get to go back to school the very next day. Usually on Friday night, you win, you know, things are calmed down by Monday, but you get to go back to school and all your peers and your friends and everything, and you're walking down the hallway with that chest bumped up pretty high there. That was exciting to see. I know exciting to see for you and the coaching staff.
Oh, most definitely. You know, kind of like Coach Dabo at Clemson. Every time we win, it needs to be a dance party. It needs to be a party.
Yes.
Because wins are hard to come by. So
did you do a dance, Coach?
I didn't do much dancing this time.
What about Coach Roberts? Did he?
Oh, yeah, he's always dancing. He's always dancing.
We need to get some video clips of that, Coach. We'll put it on.
Most definitely. But no, man, it's just exciting.
Yeah.
It's just exciting to see the goals that they set are now like at the front door. Is either you want to walk through it or you just gonna stay where you at. And so just to see them put themselves in the position to walk through it is just exciting. And I'm happy because a lot of these guys haven't never experienced playoff football before, and that was goal to get back because we've been there in the past. We've been there in a while, so it's to get back, you know, at that door where we can walk in there and do what we got to do to get in. It's an exciting time here on the hill, and just looking forward to Thursday, man.
Yes. So the game this week is on Thursday?
It's on Thursday. It's on Thursday because we start fall break on that Friday.
Okay.
So,
okay,
yes,
good.
Sir.
All right, so coming into town will be Talladega County Central, TCC, and, you know, what is your message this week as you focus and prepare for TCC? Everybody knows the type of season that they've had, but what is your message to the team? You've been in this situation before, coaching, where you can't relax. You can't take any time off in practice. You got to prepare like they're an undefeated team. Talk about this week of preparation for them.
Well, the preparation, like I said last week, it started yesterday. Just introducing the formations and what we want to try to attack them at. But it's just like you said. We have to go at them like they're an undefeated team. But the main focus for us is consistency.
Yes.
How consistent can we be through four quarters? And I talked to them this morning when we had our weightlifting before school. It's like we can't be consistent, 2 or 3 quarters. We have to be all 4 quarters consistent until that scoreboard hits 0. So that would be the main message this week, and to make sure that we're clicking on all cylinders by the end of the game, just making sure we work on ourselves.
The playoffs are on the line, and big exciting game Thursday night. Should have a big crowd there, and the guys know what's on the line, going to be excited, and their focus on Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. You want to get off to a fast start. Off to a fast start on both sides of the ball and special teams too, and take care of the ball early on in the game and make sure you control the game early and set the tone. How important is it for the guys, for you? You want them to be excited. You want them to be emotional, fired up, ready to go, but at the same time too, consistency, like you say, and keeping their emotions in check before that start.
Yeah, that's very important. these guys right now, and then also too. Let me backtrack. Attention to detail is very important, which we kind of lost a little bit last week throughout the game.
Yeah.
And so attention to detail and being consistent at holding those details is very important. And like you said, those emotions, can't let outside emotions, you know, mess up whatever you have going on. You got to stay focused. I don't care what nobody else does to you. You have to be focused. And that's what we've been teaching here. And I think the guys are, I ain't going to say think, I know the guys are, ready. They're emotionally ready to, take on TCC and do what we have to do to, achieve our goal.
When's the last year that Donoho made the playoffs?
Donoho made the playoffs 3 years ago.
3 years, okay.
So the senior group that's this year,
Right.
I think they experienced the playoffs when they were either 8th or 9th graders.
Right, okay. Okay,
So,
good.
Now they have an opportunity to be like, okay, I can put a stamp on this
Yes.
program into the playoffs.
Yes.
This is what we did. So it's very important for them, and we challenged them. You only guaranteed, this is the last month of football that's guaranteed. So what are you going to do in that month? Are you just going to go day by day, or are you going to do what you're supposed to do to gain an extra week of football?
Right. And with Donoho being a small school, you've got guys that play multiple sports. And with football being the first sport of the school year to finish, how important is it to establish the winning and getting in the playoffs and that type of mentality,
That's right.
not just for football, but it carries on in the whole school year with the rest of the sports?
I'm going to tell you like this. Our school is very competitive.
Yes.
And our girls are very competitive.
Yes.
And so let's get into it. Like, hey, listen, we're right there along with you, because our girls are always checking our boys. Because,
Yes. Yes.
they have success in volleyball, soccer, and they work very hard. And I talk to them like, look, how do y'all do this? Coach, we just believe this, that. And,
Right.
They check our boys. Hey, we're doing better than y'all. And so
Yep.
the boys don't like that.
That's right.
So, a healthy competition, and like you said, it sets the tone for every other sport in the school.
Yes, sir.
And so, things are looking very good for the Donoho Falcons this year in every sport.
Yes. Congratulations, Coach, on a big win last Friday night. Look forward to seeing you on Thursday night. Good luck this Thursday as you try to clinch that playoff spot. Thank you for joining us on In the Huddle.
Yes, sir. Hey, Coach, I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything you do for us. Hey,
Yes, sir.
you ain't got time on Thursday. You need to come to that tailgate.
Hey, I got the invite. I'm going to be there. Hey,
Yes,
see you,
sir.
Coach. That's Coach Jeremy Satcher of the Donoho Falcons. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have Coach Todd Ginn of the Alexandria Valley Cubs here on In the Huddle. Welcome back to In the Huddle. I'm Coach Jason Pahman. Now join me is Coach Todd Ginn from the Alexandria Valley Cubs. The Valley Cubs improved to 3-3 on the season, 3-1 in Region 6 play with a 54-26 win over St. Clair County. And Coach, let's talk about that game and the week leading up to St. Clair County. You played a tough game the Friday night before against Central Clay in a very close game all the way up until the end there against Central Clay, and then had to jump back in region play, and this was a very important win or important game as far as the region goes for playoff purposes and getting into the playoffs. Talk about the week of preparation leading up to St. Clair County.
Well, we knew, it's always easy to motivate your guys after a loss. Clay Central, going down there was good experience for our guys. We got a lot of new guys, that never played in that atmosphere before, going to Clay Central and getting to go do that in non-region week was good for us. Though winning and losing out, just as far as a disciplined team does things the right way. That's got a good community behind them. There was a huge crowd there, and it was good for our guys. We hoped we would have won, but we didn't. And that's the way it goes sometimes. But last week we had a really good week of practice leading up to. We told our guys if we win last week against St. Clair County, we're in the playoffs, and so that was motivation in itself to check that goal off of hey. Let's get in the playoffs. That's always, a big goal, and especially around here is to get in the playoffs. And we checked that box, and guys prepared well. And I thought St. Clair County had some really athletic kids, especially at the receiver and running back and quarterback. And we did really, really well stopping them early in the game in that first half, and really, we're able to play a lot of folks in the second half. And so I was pleased, and everything the way it went. So, getting back to work this week, getting ready for Leeds, another big game, and the pressure's kind of off. Now it's where are you going to fit in the playoffs? The playoff pressure is off. So, our guys are motivated. They know we play at home the next 2 weeks in 2 big games versus Leeds and Southside, and we're going to focus on this one. A lot of people have counted us out in this one already. But around here we don't count ourselves out. We're going to play hard, we're going to prepare, and we're going to get ready for Leeds to come in here.
Yes, sir. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some of the players of the St. Clair County game, and then we'll talk some more about the Leeds game coming up here on In the Huddle. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back in the Huddle, back with Coach Todd Ginn of the Alexandria Valley Cubs, winners 54-26 on Friday night against St. Clair County. And Coach, talk about some of the players for that game. You saw Justin Ross just had a phenomenal game, ended up with 5 touchdowns, 3 or 4 touchdown runs, and then a kickoff return. Just put the team on the shoulders on Friday night, and y'all willed your way into the playoffs with a good performance. Started out great, both sides of the ball. Talk about those guys on offense that really carried you on Friday night.
Yeah, Antonio Ross, he had a good game. He's played well. We knew coming in that a lot of teams be focused. He had a good night Friday night, but a lot of our other guys, are playing well. Ty Barker, quarterback, played well Friday night. Had over 130 yards passing. And Ty Brown ran the ball well in his role and blocks extremely well for Ross. And then, of course, TK Downey caught a touchdown pass. And those guys offensively, our line's getting better. Of course, you can't. A lot of people forget about Corey Cargill. He's our edge setter. He plays receiver for us, but he is a phenomenal blocker. Just a disciplined kid that wants to do things the right way, and you tell him what to do, and he's going to try. He's going to try with everything he's got to do it. Yeah, a guy that I love to coach, and those guys just did a really good job offensively for us. Ross had a huge night, like you said, and defensively, I think we set the tone. They took the ball first. They took the ball first. They won the toss and took the ball first, which really motivates us when a team does that.
Yes, I agree.
So, I told the guys, I made sure to remind them before we ran out. I said, well, they must think our defense is pathetic.
Right.
But defense set the tone early, played extremely hard, got some turnovers, and had a really good night.
Talk about Cleet Forrest and the job that he did, not just Friday night, but for the season. Just a huge weapon to have a guy of that caliber playing for you. Was 6 of 6 on extra points, 6 of 6 on touchback, and had a 46-yard field goal. And in high school football, that is phenomenal because you see so many teams struggle with extra points, have to scrap it and go to try to convert to 2-point conversion, and to have a guy that's consistent, and then the touchbacks. I mean, to have a guy in high school that's 6 for 6 on touchbacks, that is huge because it's helping out your defense, getting him a good spot too. Talk about him and the job he's done this season.
You know, Cleet, we've got, it's funny, before Clay Central game, Coach Horn came and he said, look, I don't need both your kickers. I just want one of them. He said, just because we got 2 really good kickers, he said, just give me one. He don't even have to come to practice. Just let me have him on Friday.
Right.
And we tried to work a trade up, but he didn't. He didn't
want to give anything else up, did he?
We couldn't come to terms on it. But,
right.
You know, but in all seriousness, Cleet Cleet is just a phenomenal kicker. When you can make the other team start on the 20-yard line, 95% of the time,
yes.
That is a huge deal in high school football.
Yes.
I mean, it's just huge. And, he's worked so hard. It's a unique story about Cleet because as the story goes, he was really young, and back then we were struggling to find kickers. I wasn't coaching then, but they were going for 2 a lot. He told his dad, hey, I can help us. I can kick for us and help us.
Yeah.
And they put a goalpost in their backyard and painted off a field, lined it off, and the story goes from there. And the young man, he's going to kick in college. He's just a 10th grader.
Yes.
He's got huge colleges already looking at him. He is a really, really big weapon. Will continue to be a big weapon. But he's athletic too. So next year in his senior year, you're going to see him on the field playing as well as kicking. He's a really, really good kicker. And Torres, I'd be remiss if I don't mention Torres. Torres is a great kicker as well. He's going to play. It's crazy to think that a guy that's our backup kicker will also kick on Saturdays as well. But he's going to. He's got some scholarship offers already to kick on Saturday, and we're just blessed to have 2 guys. Michael Johnson works really, really hard with those guys and does a phenomenal job. Now Jacob Fuqua comes over. He was an All-American long snapper at UAB, and he's on our staff now. And those guys just do really, really well with our special teams. And we're lucky. I don't have to do anything with special teams. They do it. And we're blessed to have that because a lot of high schools don't.
That takes a load off of you, not have to worry about that, I know. All right, Coach, coming up, Leeds coming into town, number 2 ranked team in the state. A tough matchup in region play coming in, but, I was looking at past history of the Valley Cubs, and it's just always good to go back and look at that and the tradition that's there. But 316 home wins in the Valley at Death Valley, and majority of those have come at Lewis Scales Stadium there. And, any time that a team comes to Death Valley, the Valley Cubs got a chance because the atmosphere is just tremendous. The crowds are always good, selling out just on Friday nights, and it does something to the kids as well to have that kind of support and be able to play on their home field. And so there's always a good chance when you're playing at the Valley. Talk about the game coming in and talk about the experience of and I know you're just excited every Friday night about being able to stand and proud of being on that sideline.
Yeah. So I mentioned, we're doing this Zoom, and I'm still at school, and so if y'all hear bells and a principal, it just is what it is in a high school. So, but yeah, anytime there's just something about this place. You know what I mean? Anytime football Friday night at Alexandria, Lewis Scales Stadium, field's named after my dad, and it's just a really, really special place. And one thing about it, that's the beautiful thing about being here is it doesn't matter. They know the product we're going to put on the field is going to get after it and give everything they've got, no matter what their talent level is. And our side is packed every single night. That's just the way it is. I was so pleased about the St. Clair County game. I mean, we got more fans than they have at their own home game. And our fans are great. This community's great. They come out. They expect to see good football.
Yes.
And they expect you to play hard. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to prepare to. Leeds is a really good team. They've been good the past few years, and they're good. And they do a good job and have a bunch of athletes. But like I said, something about getting to play here on a Friday night, and our guys, it's big to know that our guys think we have a chance no matter who comes into town when it's here. And that's where you want to be. You want to be at a place that expects to win. You know what I mean? You just do. And we're blessed to be here, and I've grown up here, and ever since I've known this place, we expect to win.
Yes, sir.
And it's pressure. I used to, when Dad was coaching, the pressure was there, and it was fun. I used to say, man, I don't know how he does this football and basketball all the time.
Right.
But it's a good pressure. It's hey, the kids, let's get them prepared. Let's get them ready. Let's strap it on Friday night and see what happens.
Coach, congratulations on a big win last Friday night, and that win propelled you to be the Team of the Week, Cutter's Pizza, Awards to Remember Team of the Week, Cutter's Pizza, locally founded company there in Alexandria. Cutter Good is very proud of the Alexandria Valley Cubs, and I know he's going to be excited of providing y'all with a team meal this week on Wednesday after practice. Awards to Remember, you got Mr. Smith there that runs that, and he's the voice of the Valley Cubs, and so it just everything in line this week, and you being the coach of the week this week, or Texas Roadhouse coach of the week, a big week in store for the Valley Cubs, and look forward to spending some of that time with you this week, and look forward to the game on Friday night.
Yeah, my wife was really happy about that Texas Roadhouse gift card.
Yes, sir.
I told her, I said, hey, we got a date night coming up soon. So I appreciate y'all, man.
Hey, no problem, Coach. I'll see you on Friday at the pep rally as well, and hope you have a good week of preparation leading up to Leeds coming into Death Valley this Friday night.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining us. That'll take care of this week's edition of In the Huddle with Coach Jason Pahman, and next week we'll have more coaches here and some highlights to go along as well. We'll see you guys next week on In the Huddle.